Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep on the 2025 Audi A5 sedan.
This one's creating some buzz.
Yeah, it really is. Especially for how it fits into Audi's whole,
It's not just a redesign.
Right, exactly.
It's replacing the old A5 Sportback and the gas-powered A4 sedan.
Streamlining things a bit.
Yeah, definitely a hint at Audi's long game here, too.
What do you mean?
Think about the naming.
Yeah.
Odd numbers now are for combustion engines.
Oh, interesting.
Even numbers are for the EVs.
Oh, so they're keeping options open.
Exactly. Choices for everyone.
Makes sense. So what's really new with the design then, this A5?
Well, it's gotten bigger for one.
Oh, yeah.
67 millimeters longer,
Wow.
bringing the total to 4,829 millimeters.
The wheelbase.
Wheelbase is stretched too by 80 millimeters.
Kidding.
So now it's at 2,900 millimeters total.
More room for passengers, I guess.
Absolutely. Especially in the back, you'll notice it.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And styling-wise, any big changes there?
Oh, yeah. It's got a bold new look. The single frame grille is wider now and flatter. Headlights are sleek to totally new shape with this really distinct light and dark division.
Sounds kind of cool.
And there's a new rear light strip running the whole width of the car.
Those headlights you mentioned, though, they sound pretty high-tech.
They are digital matrix LED headlights, they're called.
Huh?
And they've got this active digital light signature.
Active? What does that even mean?
They actually move.
What?
And get this, the OLED taillights can communicate with other drivers.
Wait, taillights can talk now. Like sending messages.
Not quite messages, but they can send warnings to the cars behind.
Like what kind of warnings?
Like if the A5 slams on the brakes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or if there's a hazard ahead.
Wow, that's a smart safety feature.
For sure.
Let's move inside for a minute. What's the interior like?
Very luxurious. Big focus on tech.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
You've got a curved OLED screen that combines the instrument panel and the infotainment system all in one.
That's gotta look futuristic.
Oh, it does.
And I hear there's a separate screen for the passenger, too.
Yeah, optional 10.9-inch passenger display. It's angled, so only the front passenger can see it while you're driving.
No more fighting over music choices then.
Exactly.
What about the sound system? Anything special there?
Oh, yeah, they've got a Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system.
Nice.
With speakers built right into the front headrests.
So like a personal concert in your car?
Pretty much. But it's not just about luxury and cool gadgets. This A5 actually feels intelligent.
Intelligent? In what way?
Audi's added this thing called Audi Assistant.
Okay.
It uses AI, similar to ChatGPT, to respond to voice commands and answer questions.
You're kidding. So you can actually talk to the car like it's a person.
It's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. What about engine options? What can you get under the hood?
So for the US market, at least initially, it's going to be a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine with a turbocharger.
Okay.
Puts out 268 horsepower.
Oh, not bad.
And it comes paired with a 48-volt mild hybrid system.
Mild hybrid, so that helps with fuel efficiency a bit.
Exactly. They call it MHEV+. It uses a 48-volt lithium iron phosphate battery
Okay.
and a transmission-mounted generator.
So how does that work?
It boosts horsepower by up to 24, and it lets you drive electric only in certain situations.
Like when?
Like parking or when you're stuck in stop-and-go traffic.
Makes sense. Any other engine options out there? In other parts of the world, I mean.
Yeah, other markets will have more choices, including a 3.0-liter V6 TFSI engine for the S5 model. That one's got 367 horsepower.
Wow. Quite a difference.
And there are some diesel options, too.
So something for everyone.
Pretty much.
What about a fully electric A5? Any plans for that in the future?
Well, Audi has said that plug-in hybrid versions are coming in 2025.
Okay.
They expect those to have an electric range of over 100 kilometers, which is about 62 miles.
Not bad. So a fully electric A5 might not be too far off.
We'll see.
So we've covered the design, the engines. What about the driving experience? How does this thing actually feel on the road?
It's built on Audi's Premium Combustion Platform, or PPC for short.
And what's special about that?
It's all about delivering a really dynamic driving experience.
So performance focused then.
Exactly. They've made a lot of improvements to the chassis to make the A5 more responsive.
Like what?
Stiffer torsion beam, a more rigid connection to the rear axle, and they've made progressive steering standard across the board.
So how does that translate for the driver?
It's going to feel more agile, more connected to the road, more fun to drive overall.
Sounds promising. Are there different options for people who want different levels of, sportiness?
Yeah, you can choose different suspension setups.
Okay, like what?
You've got the standard steel spring suspension that's good for a balanced ride.
Right.
Then there's a sport suspension if you want things a little more firm, and then the S Sport suspension with adaptive damping control if you really want to push it.
Wow, it's a lot of choices there. Anything else that stands out performance-wise?
Yeah, they've added this new brake torque vectoring system.
Like torque vectoring, what's that all about?
It basically applies the brakes very subtly to the inside wheels when you're cornering.
And why does it do that?
It reduces understeer, so the car feels more nimble and responsive through the turns.
So it helps you carve those corners a little better.
Exactly. And the S5 models come standard with a Quattro Sport differential.
Which does what?
It actively distributes torque between the rear wheels for even better handling.
They really thought of everything. But let's talk price. Now, how much is all this going to cost?
The 2025 A5 sedan is expected to start around $47,225 in the US.
Okay.
But the higher trims, especially with all the options, could get closer to $57,000.
So premium price for a premium car.
Yep.
Makes sense. When can people actually buy one of these things?
Europeans can already order it, actually. Deliveries start in November 2024.
Wow, that's soon.
The base gasoline sedan starts at $45,200 over there, which is about $49,250. The Avant, the wagon version, is a bit pricier.
So it's going global. We've covered a lot of ground here, but we're not done yet. Stick around for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll explore the A5's features in even more detail and talk about what they mean for the automotive landscape. Welcome back to our deep dive on this 2025 Audi A5.
Before we went to part 2, we were talking about how it handles. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about safety features. You know, all the driver assistance systems.
Yeah, safety is so important these days, especially in a car with this much tech.
Absolutely. And Audi's known for its safety features. The A5 comes standard with a whole suite of advanced driver assistance systems.
Break it down for us. What are some of the key ones?
Well, you've got automated emergency braking with forward collision warning.
Okay.
Uses sensors to monitor the road ahead and can automatically apply the brakes if it senses a potential collision.
That could be a lifesaver, especially if you're distracted.
Exactly. And to help prevent accidents in the first place, there's lane departure warning and lane keeping assist.
Those are both standard.
Yep. Standard features, they work together to keep you centered in your lane.
So it's kind of like having a co-pilot, especially on those long drives.
That's a good way to put it. And for highway driving, you've got adaptive cruise control.
Oh, yeah. That's a game changer.
It uses radar to keep a safe following distance from the car in front.
Makes things so much less stressful.
For sure.
What about parking? Any help there?
You get a rear view camera as standard.
Okay.
And there are options for a surround view camera system and park assist.
So it can park itself.
Pretty much. Park assist can steer the car into a parking spot for you.
That's amazing. I could use that feature for sure.
It's pretty handy.
Let's talk practicalities for a minute. What about warranty and maintenance?
The standard Audi warranty covers the A5 for 4 years or 50,000 miles.
Okay.
Powertrain warranty is the same 4 years or 50,000 miles.
So pretty good coverage for the first few years. What about scheduled maintenance? Is any of that included for free?
Unfortunately, no. Audi doesn't offer complimentary scheduled maintenance for the A5.
Good to know. Now I've got to ask, how does the A5 stack up against its rivals, in the luxury sedan segment?
It's a tough segment.
It is.
You've got the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, the Genesis G70.
Yeah, those are all strong contenders.
They all have their strengths, so it's really a close race.
Where do you think the A5 really shines compared to those others?
The design, for sure. And that luxurious interior. The technology package is top-notch, too, especially that curved OLED screen and the Audi Assistant with the AI.
We talked about performance and handling, too, which are both pretty impressive. How's the fuel efficiency?
We don't have the official EPA numbers yet for the 2025 A5 sedan.
Okay.
But we expect it to be competitive within its class, especially with that mild hybrid system.
So it sounds like a pretty well-rounded package.
It really is.
What are your overall thoughts, then, on its place within Audi's lineup and, in the broader market?
I think it's a big step for Audi. It shows they're committed to innovation and that they're keeping up with the times. The whole automotive landscape is changing. And by replacing both the A4 and the A5 Sportback with this new A5 sedan, they're streamlining their offerings and drawing a clear line between the combustion engine models and their growing EV lineup.
So attracting a wider range of customers while still looking towards the future.
Exactly. What do you think about the pricing?
Well, it starts around $47,225.
Which is right in line with its competitors.
Makes sense.
Of course, the price goes up depending on trim level and options.
Sure, so it's a premium experience at a premium price, but there's room for customization.
Yep.
What are some key takeaways for our listeners for those who might be considering the A5 as their next car?
I'd say it's a great choice. If you want a blend of performance, luxury, and cutting-edge tech, it's got that stylish design, spacious and luxurious interior, those advanced driver assistance systems, impressive handling, all that makes it a real contender in the luxury sedan category.
Definitely a head-turner. That'll be fun to drive.
Oh, yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this part of our deep dive?
I just encourage everyone to think about how the A5's approach to efficiency, that mix of the traditional combustion engine and the mild hybrid.
Yeah.
How that could fit into their own lives and their driving habits.
Kind of bridging the gap between today and tomorrow.
Exactly. It gives you a taste of what's coming while still delivering the performance and driving pleasure that Audi's known for.
For sure. Stick around, everyone, for part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of the bigger implications of the A5's arrival and what it might mean for the automotive industry as a whole. So we've spent this whole episode talking about the 2025 Audi A5 sedan, all the ins and outs.
We've covered the design, that luxurious interior, all the tech, the performance, the safety, features, the whole shebang.
But now I'm thinking bigger picture. What does this redesigned A5 tell us about Audi's strategy? Where they're headed? And how might it impact the whole luxury car market?
Well, one thing's for sure, Audi's not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're offering a variety of powertrains.
All right, they're not ditching combustion engines entirely.
Nope. But they're definitely embracing electrification with those mild hybrids and those plug-in hybrids coming down the line.
So they're appealing to a wider range of drivers, basically.
Exactly. Those who are ready to go all electric and those who aren't quite there yet. It's a smart move in a market that's still kind of figuring itself out.
It is. And you know what else I find interesting?
What's that?
How the A5 kind of blurs the lines between a traditional sedan and a sportier coupe.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's got the practicality of a four-door, but with a design that's way sleeker than your average family car.
Right. It's like they're combining the best of both worlds.
And that's a trend we're seeing across the industry, actually. This shift towards designs that are more emotionally engaging, even in segments that used to be all about practicality.
So cars that are both practical and stylish, appealing to both the head and the heart.
Exactly. And I think the A5's focus on all this cutting-edge tech also shows where the luxury market's going.
Yeah?
Things like that curved OLED screen, the AI-powered Audi Assistant, those communicative taillights, all that's raising the bar for what people expect in a luxury car.
It's like these cars are becoming extensions of our digital lives.
Yeah. Integrating technology in a seamless way to enhance both safety and convenience.
It makes you wonder, is this A5 a preview of what we can expect from other luxury car makers in the future?
I think so. Other brands are definitely paying attention. The A5's combination of design, technology, and performance sets a high standard. We'll probably see other luxury brands responding with their own innovations.
So it's like a tech race in a way.
You could say that,
Yeah.
But in the end, it's the consumer who wins. We're going to see more sophisticated and more desirable cars as a result.
I'm excited to see where things go from here. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something you said earlier about the A5 blurring the lines between sedans and coupes. It makes me wonder about the future of those traditional car categories.
Interesting thought. As cars become more versatile and design-focused, will those categories even matter anymore?
Exactly. Are we moving towards a world where cars are defined less by their shape and more by the overall experience and capabilities?
I think that's a real possibility. The A5 is just one example of a car that's challenging those old ideas about what a sedan or a coupe should be.
So instead of fitting into neat little boxes, cars might become more fluid and adaptable to different lifestyles and needs.
Exactly. And as technology keeps advancing, we can expect even more blurring of those lines. Cars that seamlessly blend performance, comfort, connectivity, sustainability, the whole package.
It's a really exciting time to be a car enthusiast. The 2025 Audi A5 gives us a glimpse of what's on the horizon, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Me neither. It's going to be an interesting ride.
It is. Well, that's about it for our deep dive into the 2025 Audi A5. Thanks for joining us, everyone.